Well, gentlemen, there's a good possibility I just destroyed this saw. It still turns over, but it died in the cut, and let's just say the signs are kind of horrific. So what this started out as a chain video. Basically, I wanted to compare my round grind to the square and the Stihl 23RS chain. I've been playing with the square hand file, and the last time you seen this, we compared it to the 23RS, and I decided before I go back, starting over, I would sharpen up a chain with my filing or with my grinder and, compare my grind to those two chains. And that's what we were doing here. We made a couple of cuts, so I got enough cuts here that we can actually do that comparison. But during this process, the saw ate something and basically died. So it looks like I just destroyed, or at least I think I just destroyed one of my favorite saws. I think she's toast. I think we had a failure, which was one of those failures that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Well, I was making the cuts to do this, and needless to say, while I was cutting, the saw obviously ate something and shut off. The saw is still building compression, but you could have rings destroyed, it could have destroyed piston, who knows. So yeah, I think she's toast. What happened is a screw came out for the choke, the butterfly on the choke rod, that little screw that holds that butterfly on there. She's gone. Yep. So I think the saw just ate that screw. I don't think this is going to be a good outcome. So I'll show you the cuts so you can see it die, and then we'll work it, getting the top end off of it, and take a look at the damage. All right, so I'm kind of afraid here. So yeah, here we go. Now here on the piston, there's damage. You can see there's a little chunk missing right there. If you look through here, you can see where the screw was hitting everything. It was acting like freaking sandpaper in there. Here's the cylinder. Let me pull the cylinder up. Now don't share my secrets with anybody. You can see where that screw is smacking up in there. So it's just where the screw got really close to the edge right there. Here's the amusing part. I gotta zoom this. You ready for this? Look down on the bottom. Look where our screw ended up. That sucker is embedded all the way in there. That's gonna take some finagling to get it out. And I'll probably have to do some JB Weld work down in there. But there's our screw. Pieces of it went through the engine, but you can see where the screw embedded all the way down in there. I'm gonna zoom it out a little bit so it ain't so pixelated. Maybe you can get a better idea. See it down in there? Here's our piston. Right there, you can see it along the bottom. Now, the other side of the piston, there's more damage. Can you see it there? You can see where she made her way through on the side. So I think I should locate a piston. The connecting rod's got a bunch of little dings taken out of it, but I bet you it should come back to life. I might even do something to see if I get a little more RPM out of it. So there we go. I'm going to say this is a very close call right now. The cylinder, I think a little bit of effort with sandpaper, and I think what's going to happen is whenever I sand that, I'm going to end up taking a few more thousandths out of it, which will probably cause me to have to take a few more thousandths out of the combustion chamber, or I mean off the cylinder base. You know what I mean? So in the end, I'm probably going to have to make a minor tweak in order to get things back, and you never know, it might actually go faster. So we'll see how this turns out, but we got some repairs to do. Basically, I got a carburetor sitting here. Yeah, here's one. See that little screw there that holds the butterfly? That's the screw that came out for the choke side, and it sucked her right up into the engine. That's all it took. It was a brand new carburetor. I never had the screw out, so I never thought anything of it. But maybe we should start taking these screws out and Loctiting them before we start using them, because I have a feeling they're not putting anything on there like Loctite wise from the factory. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good habit to get into right there. You know what I mean? Now, I think this is kind of a close call here on this saw. So I should be able to get this up and running pretty soon, and hopefully she all works out. I think we got lucky. It's just that screw that went through the bottom of the crank. Once I get it out, I'll have to just JB weld it. It's right at the seam for the gasket, so I'm just going to have to use a syringe or something and force JB weld into that hole as good as possible and smooth it out. That's pretty much the only fix there, except replacing the whole bottom half of the saw, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But we'll just have to live with it, you know what I mean? But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. We had a close call on this guy. So, hey, we'll catch you in the next one. Later.